how to reverse COPD naturally, how to do it in 5 steps that you can take to repair the lung. Now, is it possible to repair the lung with COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease? Is it possible to repair the lung? Yes, it's possible. Stay with me. I will explain to you in the 5 steps how it's done so that you have an idea that this option actually is there, is possible, and I help people actually get through this process and actually help them reverse that process. I'm Alan Wadditz, I'm a nutrition expert, and I help people restore their health with nutrition. So this is a topic that is quite close to my heart. Personally, I didn't have COPD. I used to suffer with asthma. I had asthma for 35 years, and I discovered a formulation that actually got rid of my asthma for good. And now 25 years later, I am asthma free. So I found out that this is the first step that you need to take when you have COPD, that you have to reverse the condition that creates the asthma. Because with COPD, prior to COPD, there must have been asthma. So you've probably been on the pumps, you've probably been on cortisol, on nebulizers, on oxygen and all that, which means there's lung damage. What happens with lung damage is basically there is a lot of inflammation in the lung, and there's uncontrolled inflammation. So when there's uncontrolled inflammation, the lung gets destroyed. So you have it, the destruction has happened with probably with smoke or inhalation of toxins which have come to the lung, and there's scar tissue that's been happening, so the lungs have been damaged, or you've had viruses that have damaged the lung. So all these are the different possibilities. Now, can you reverse it? Yes, you can reverse. But the first thing to reverse, you can't reverse it immediately. The first thing you have to do is you have to control the inflammation. You have to reduce the inflammation. How is inflammation controlled? It's controlled with steroids, cortisol. So cortisol is normally nebulized. You put cortisol and it gets vaporized and you breathe it in and you get that instant relief. So that's a form, but you can't do this forever because it will not work at a later stage. And the problem with cortisol is that it actually damages your tissues as well. It breaks it down because cortisol is used to break down tissue to turn into sugar. So you've got a degeneration of the cells. So as a quick fix, it's okay, but as a long term, no, it's not okay. So how does the body produce cortisol? This was my discovery for asthma. I discovered which organ in the body makes cortisol. The organ that makes cortisol is the adrenal gland. Now, if you know how to feed the adrenal gland and you give the adrenal gland the right materials, the adrenal gland will make you cortisol. So when the body is making cortisol naturally, what happens is, I have found when I was suffering with asthma, I would get blockages. I would get phlegm. A lot of phlegm would come and the phlegm was sticky. I could not cough it out. I would be trying to cough and my lungs would get sore. My muscles under my lungs would get sore. And it was a very frustrating problem. So when I discovered how to produce cortisol, and so that was the point where the turnaround of my life, where the asthma now is gone. I don't have asthma anymore because of that. So I feed the adrenal glands, and I discovered that the nutrients that feeds the adrenal gland is vitamin C, vitamin B5, omega-3, and B complex. When you have those present in larger quantities than normal, the body starts making cortisol, and within 3 to 4 days, your lung starts clearing. The phlegm starts going out. So if you're going to reverse COPD, first is you have to control the inflammation and then remove the phlegm. So the body now is actually a bit more relaxed to be able to do the repair process. You can't repair while this is happening. So that's your first thing. So there's a wording called in the inflammation process called a cytokine storm. Cytokine is a response. It's a stress response to stress. When the body is under stress. So when you're needing cortisol, the cytokine is basically communicates to the body for the immune system to be active, for inflammation to be controlled so that reconstruction can happen, but it goes out of control. So you recontrol it and you stop the cytokine storm, so you stop the destruction of your cells, of your tissues, because otherwise it's a progression of destruction, so you stop that. So now that you've got your inflammation under control, now you have to look at digestion and colon health. I go and fix digestion, because what tends to happen with the allergies, there's also allergies that come with it, or the buildup of phlegm actually comes from the colon. Colon has been damaged, there's poor digestion, so the food does not digest, protein gets to the colon has got holes in it, and the proteins go into the blood and the body reacts as well, and there's another cytokine storm there that has to control that. So it puts your body out of control. So you have to fix your colon health and you have to fix your digestion to make sure everything that you eat gets digested until your body is able to restore its own digestion. So you have to take digestive enzymes and you have to take probiotics together with L-glutamine. L-glutamine helps to fix the colon. The colon is probably also inflamed, so when you're taking the anti-inflammatory or you're producing cortisol, the colon also starts to get actually relieved of the inflammation. So the glutamine is a nutrient, which is an amino acid, which goes and repairs the colon. So now you're closing up the colon so that there's no more junk, no more food, no more proteins, no more feces going into your blood, creating the reactions. So you've got cortisol, inflammation is controlled. Digestion is controlled, less allergies, because this is where your phlegm gets built up. It's foods getting into your blood, and the phlegm is a form of reaction in your lung, and that actually makes your COPD even worse. And then you need electrolytes, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and salt. So these you have to have in your drink. So you must be hydrated a lot with your water and your hydration. You have to have your electrolytes, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and salt. It has to be balanced. What that does, it actually has a calming effect. It has a relaxing effect, and it relaxes the nervous system. And it enables you to sleep as well, to have a peaceful sleep, and you sleep nicely without being interrupted. The interruption of sleep, you can't relax, is because your electrolytes are out of balance. So when you do this, you calm the body down. So that's another form where when your body is calmed down, what happens when your body is nervous? You use the pump. The pump is there to relax the muscles in the lungs so that you don't gasp of air. Because when you are tense, the muscles in the lungs get tense, so it closes up. So now you need the pump. So you find yourself on cortisol, on the pump, and it's eventually, I know a lot of people talk to me. I'm consulting a lot of people with COPD, with asthma, and this is what happens. I've experienced it myself. So with electrolytes now, you've relaxed the body, so the need for the pump is going to reduce slowly and slowly. Next, now your body is in a condition where it's ready for repair. It's relaxed, inflammation is under control, and digestion, there's no toxins actually flowing into the blood, creating the mucus and the allergies. Now your body is ready for repair. So these are the first 3 steps you have to do before you can even go into repair. Then repair is on step 4, which is the collagen production. Collagen is where your lungs are made of collagen. So you need collagen production for the lungs to be, for the material to arrive at the lungs now for the repair process. Now in the lungs, what you're going to have scar tissue as well. So the scar tissue has to be removed. There's a way of doing that. But first of all, you have to provide the materials. You have to tell the body, the lungs, here's your collagen. The collagen is available. So how do you produce collagen? What are the materials that you need to give the body for the production of collagen? It's lysine, protein, and vitamin C. When you have this present, your lysine, protein, you find it in proteins. Now that your digestion is in good order, now you're going to have a supply of lysine, or you can have it as a supplement form. So you eat correctly, and your proteins which are digested, then the lysine, protein, and your vitamin C, which you can get from foods or supplementation. But when you're in this condition where the body is not well and it's been going for a long time, obviously you're going to need supplementation, because you have to up the levels of these nutrients. So you take supplementation for a little while eventually your diet is going to supply this to you. So this is where you start. So now you're providing the raw materials for the lung reconstruction. Now that it's there, what is going to trigger? There needs to be a trigger that will trigger the body, which is called a fibroblast. Fibroblast is a cell in the body which manufactures your lung tissues. What has happened with the fibroblast? As you get older, those fibroblasts have switched off. So which means the body degenerates and it doesn't reconstruct. Now, if you can find a way to reactivate the fibroblasts, switch them on again, and provide the material for the collagen production, the fibroblasts will make the collagen, and it will turn that collagen into lung tissue, new lung tissue. And that is done by a peptide called the copper peptide, GHK-Cu. Glycine, histidine, and lysine. So you need to have this, and copper. So you need to have a copper supplementation. So now when you elevate the levels of the copper peptide, you bring it to a higher level, the fibroblasts now start responding. They say, oh, the copper peptide levels have gone up, the fibroblasts switch on. They say, where's the material? So you've provided the materials. It starts making the tissues. And this is where reconstruction happens. Now, this is not something that happens immediately. It takes a long time. It can take 3 months to 6 months to repair. And because this is going to take 2 or 3 months for you to get this in order, 1 or 2 months, let's say. And then you can do this concurrently as well. But you have to have this in place. So now that you've raised the copper peptides, the fibroblasts are responding, they are activated, they are making the tissues, they are breaking up scar tissue, because the scar tissue was there as a form of a patch job, which it could repair the lungs because it didn't have the materials. Now that lung tissue gets removed, those tissues get removed. God forgot the name. The scar tissue gets removed. It makes way for new tissues to be produced. So the new lung tissues. So this is where the hope happens, where you can elevate it. There are many examples that have happened. Now, how do you elevate copper peptide? I recommend Lifewave X39. Lifewave X39 is a patch. It's a patch that traps your infrared. It goes back into your skin. It elevates the copper peptide, and the copper peptide is elevated, and the fibroblasts start responding. Not only the fibroblasts, your skin gets better. It actually activates new stem cells. So from the new stem cells, the fibroblasts use the stem cells and turn them into lung tissue. So you've got an activation of stem cells as well that happens with Lifewave X39. So now here's the 5 steps. So you can do it you can meet me if you want. I offer a free health consultation. It's a 30-minute free health consultation. Click on the link, book your session with me. I will go over this with you. I will explain how Lifewave X39 works. I will help you prepare yourself towards this and get you going with Lifewave X39 to elevate your copper peptide. And once that is going, you are on the road to recovery. However, give yourself 3 months to 6 months. Do not expect miracles. Do not expect fast results. If this is not a quick fix, this is a long-term thing. But once your lungs are fixed and you're breathing naturally, you're breathing normally without the help of oxygen or without having to take the pump or cortisol, you are in a much better position of living more comfortably and have a better quality of life. So I look forward to meeting you. Book your session. Let's meet. I'll take you through the steps, and you will be on your path on a journey of recovery. And let's say within 6 months or to a year, you would probably have a much better quality of life when you follow those steps that I'm advising here. Thank you for listening. I look forward to meeting you, and I look forward to working with you. Share this with others who've got this problem as well. You can click and subscribe to me as I give you more and more content on nutritional information that is relevant to you and what you would like to know. Thank you.